Okay, so it's been a while since I've been on here and tried to upload anything. But anyways, the one we did this day was We the Kingdom, Child of Love. I believe that's the band and name of song. I can't really remember. It was a long time ago. But anyways, got married. That's why I haven't been on here very much recently. Is because I've been pretty busy with the wedding and then working a ton of hours and all that. But anyways, like and subscribe and leave us comments of what you think of this video. Okay, what did it say this one was?
What are you talking about?
This was like the number. I just looked up whatever the top Christian music was.
Yeah, this was on the top whatever, whatever number they were doing.
Gosh.
1.2 million views. We the Kingdom. I think I've heard of these people.
From somebody that cannot stand Christian music, I'm already feeling like I'm not gonna like this.
Yeah, me too.
But
We'll see.
let's give it a shot. First impressions?
It's Christian music.
Oh yeah, you can tell right off the bat. It sounds like 90s Christian music. This sounds like something that would have played like right after Amy Grant on my mom's playlist when I was like 14.
My parents didn't listen to Christian music when I was growing up, so I don't know.
You didn't miss much.
Yeah. It
Didn't miss much.
Yeah, I don't know. It just the only thing I have an issue with these like big Christian bands and stuff like that. Clearly, these people are big, and it's just bands in general. At least when they're non-Christian bands, they have nothing to, like, no reason not to. But like, I don't know. They're talking about already like believing or like living one way and then starting to live like for God, and then they're gonna go to the mountains and shout it, and they have a big band and all that, but they're stinking one of those guitars they probably have probably costs more than everything I own altogether.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know how can you. I'm not saying that if you're a Christian you shouldn't own nice things. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like, I feel like you're setting yourself up for a really having some really heavy internal struggles with having kind of an abundance of like really expensive stuff and living the musician lifestyle as a Christian, going to tour buses and going on tours and stuff like that, and living this really like kind of high-end lifestyle. Yeah, you're singing, like, doing it for the glory of God. At least I would hope so. But I feel like it's just, as a human, from a human perspective, like, it's difficult to not then kind of be like, yeah, like, we deserve this.
Yeah.
Like, and then for it to little things to show up, be like, they're on stage and the person turns on his guitar. It's out of tune. Where's the guitar tuner? Someone who's supposed to tune this guitar. We're on in 5 minutes, and now I have to tune this guitar. Like, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because when you're big bands, you have people that go up there. Like, sometimes at least, they have people that do everything for you. Tune your guitars, make sure everything's ready. Like, where's my dad guitar? That's like a different guitar in a different tuning. Where's the guitar in the other tuning? Like, I need that right now. That's like that's on the playlist we're doing tonight. Where is it? Like, you were supposed to bring it out.
Yeah.
Come on. And then, you know what I mean? And they're like, sorry, I thought I brought it out. I forgot. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just a completely different perspective.
Yeah. And then they get
Like,
up on the stage and they're just like, whoa, you know, and they're just like leading people in worship, but then they, you know, maybe didn't treat somebody like total garbage, but they also weren't just like, hey, don't worry about it, it's okay, you know what I mean? Or they didn't just do it themselves.
Well, like, one of the things with I'm gonna hit 2 points right here. One of the things is I try to be understanding, because it's like you know, it's like when I go to your church. I've been going to your church, like almost a year now?
Yeah, something like that.
Dude, I still cannot get used to the music.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so used to the old hymns. I'm so used to, like, just the music just being, like, really low budget at, like, my parents' and grandparents' church and stuff. And when I go to your church and there's, like, flashing lights and there's smoke and stuff and they're dancing up there, I'm just like, what on earth is this crap?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm not a fan of the music either, so it's not that I think that it should be old hymns and stuff like that. I'm just not I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of worship music. Not that.
Same.
Yeah, I don't know.
Same.
And I don't think there's a problem with that. And they make
But-
you feel bad when they're like,
Yeah,
everybody start
well-
clapping. And I'm like, I don't want to clap.
Yeah. Well, it's like personally, I just don't like it.
Mhm.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I sure as heck don't like it. And so when I see like, it kind of makes me a little envious when I go to your church and I see people really getting into it
Yeah.
and liking it, and I'm just like, how cool
But
is that? It's
here-
like they
here's
like
the
it
thing.
and they're into it.
It's
but
not like I
I'm
listen
just
to.
Not.
It's not like I go to when we went to the Slipknot concert. It's not like I was out in the field being like, yeah, yeah, like going crazy,
Yeah.
and I'm in church just like doing this. When I was at the Slipknot concert, you know what I did the most? I was just like, dude, this is sick,
Yeah.
you know. And I just was like watching the show. That's why I wasn't being crazy. I wasn't running
Yeah.
around. I was watching the show, and I wasn't just like getting into. I was just like,
Yeah.
dude, this is sick. And I'd like bob my head or something like that. Something really cool would happen. I'd be like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I do that with worldly music,
Mhm.
then I don't feel like I should be made to feel bad for not
Well-
doing anything near Christian music.
Yeah, well, I can say I do that 100%. Like at the Slipknot concert, I was jumping around and running
Yeah.
around and spinning around, and I was like, yeah, this is amazing. And then I go to your church, and I'm just like, oh, man,
I'm just not a really
This
like
is, like-
expressive person like that, and I don't know, like it doesn't.
yeah.
I don't know, where are we going with this? I just
Oh.
realized we're like rabbit trail.
oh, and then the other thing that I was gonna say about this so far from what I see is when Christian music portrays Christianity, it sure gives a super PG, super peaceful, super like, oh, Christianity's cool.
Yeah.
And Christianity's fun vibe.
Yeah. Like
And
I was
don't
living
personally-
I was living the wrong life, and then I opened my eyes, and I just never
And
want to go back.
Everything was so much better. I never was tempted again, kind
Mhm.
of crap.
Well, maybe the rest of the song, maybe they'll change
Maybe
the tune, but
Maybe it's different, but I feel like life is not necessarily easier when you
Absolutely.
have.
yeah,
So-
no life. I mean, on what they were talking about in church today, like just like what the girl. There was a point that the girl made that I was like, oh wow. When she said that, like, when you're being directed by God, you don't expect to run into problems, basically,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
how there are people in the Bible that were directed by God and they ran into problems,
Oh,
like there were
yeah.
big problems,
Oh yeah.
and it's just one of those things that
Yeah.
Christianity does seems like, oh, just give it all to God and it's gonna fix it.
So I know it looks like I'm just on my phone the whole time I'm at church, but what I'm doing is when I'm at church, I'm streaming, or
Yeah.
I'm
No, I
video
know what you're
chatting
doing.
with Gabby, and
Yeah.
she's watching the sermon with us while we watch it. And then I send her the verses, and I send her like, I try to like send as fast as I can like what the pastor's talking about and stuff. And what Gabby was talking about to me when we were there today is she was saying that when life gets difficult, that's not necessarily God like abandoning you. That's God putting tests in your way to make you stronger as a person.
Hmm.
So it's not necessarily that life gets easier or more difficult when you're Christian. It
Yeah.
just means that God may do stuff that's a little more difficult for you. Your life may actually be more difficult as a Christian
Mm-hmm.
because God's trying to strengthen you for something or trying to toughen
Yeah.
you up. But,
They talked about the last few weeks, yeah.
yeah. Anyway, let's see where this goes.
So I noticed how, like, they kind of touched on right what we were talking about. It's like, I felt the sting of the flame and something about what pulled me from the grave and stuff like that. So I'm assuming that meant like hard times. I would really like to hear a Christian song where it's from the perspective of somebody in those hard times and they fail.
Corn.
No, I'm talking about like a Christian song.
Well, I mean, some of Corn stuff is Christian-ish.
Especially
You know?
when he talks about little girls.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
But just no, like I guess corn music only in a Christian fashion. Like I don't know.
Well, the drummer and the bassist are Christians in Korn, and I believe they help write some of those songs, don't they?
I didn't know the drummer was Christian.
I think he is.
Is
I know two of the members are Christians.
Yeah, Brian Head Welch left the band Christian, came back, and then, but I didn't know the drummer was.
I don't know if it's the drummer, but I know another one of the guys is.
Really, that's
Yeah.
really neat.
Somewhat recently, within the last couple of years.
Interesting.
But-
Well, that would make sense if maybe he became Christian because when Brian
Yeah.
came back, they were chatting or something like that, and
Yeah. But like, I know you don't listen to him or probably don't like him, but Alice Cooper.
I feel like I know that name.
School's out
No.
forever.
Yeah.
Like OG like Marilyn Manson music. Like
Okay.
back in the 70s, he was singing songs about hell and Satan and stuff, and then like he was like, well, I don't need to get into this whole story, but anyways, he was going down a bad path, like living the rock star life,
Yeah.
doing all the drugs and drinking all the time and all that, and then he almost died and then became a Christian and stuff, and then he basically said like all the music that he sang and did about like drugs and Satan and like all that stuff, he still does them.
Mm-hmm.
He just says it's from a different perspective now.
Yeah.
Just
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so it's like, so singing about like hell and singing about Satan and singing about drugs and all that. The one thing he did say that he changed about his music is he tried to take all the sexuality out of it.
Where he's like talking it up, like trying to make it sexy.
Yeah.
Like where he's like, oh, whatever. I know what you're talking about. Like just the
Yeah.
adding, I guess like the 9 Inch Nails kind of way of doing it, where you're
I
just
wanna you from the inside.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like there's a big part of Christianity that's really dark and really hard and really like miserable that Christians do not portray.
absolutely. No, I totally agree with that. And there are, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. But
Yeah.
That's just, I completely agree with that, because I've been, I feel like a lot of people live that life for a long, long time, and then you start to think something's wrong with you when you hear all these people. It's like, oh, they're hearing their testimony,
Yeah.
they're talking about how like, oh, they
Yeah.
got out of it, and then you're just like, why am I the same since I was like 12 years old and I'm
Yeah.
30 now? I've
Yeah.
still been cranking my meat for, and I cannot quit.
Yeah. Like when we go to the men's studies or whatever, you go there and you hear guys just like, you're in a group of guys and it's a men Bible study, and then like one of the older guys will just be like, yeah, I really need prayer. I've been really struggling with this. Like, I'm at work and I just really been struggling with patience. Like, I'm really trying to overcome training these new guys. I gotta work on this. And everybody prays for them, and in the back of your head, you're just like, man, I'm like really into like black on black threesomes, and like, am I a freak here? Am I the only one here that struggles with watching like not just porn but like really jacked up stuff?
Yeah.
And then like,
Yep. Or
You
like,
know,
or
like-
even if somebody does talk about porn, they're like, yesterday, I sinned. I looked up hot girls on Google Image, and, and you're just like, huh.
I looked twice at that. Like, yeah, I was really tempted. I saw a billboard for the casino, and it was a chick in a hot tub out there in a bikini, and I told myself, don't look at it. And I caught myself. I glanced back at it, and you're like, wait, that's it? Like, dude, I wish that's what I struggled with, because I struggle with watching,
Stinking
threesome
threesomes.
cream pies,
Where
So-
the chicks are making out and the boyfriend walks in and is like, what the fuck are you doing? And then she's like, hey honey, how about you join us? And he's like, oh, okay. And then it's just stinking, they both are just like, and then all of a sudden the fourth boyfriend, or the second boyfriend comes in, he's like, you're cheating on me. And then she's just like, oh. And then they just live a happily ever after life, and then they watch singing Frozen 2.
But
I don't know. I don't even want to finish this song. Unless you want to.
let me skip a little bit. Let's skip to there and see what happens.
Like, you can't...
They're all looking happy like their lives are so great and fun.
Just...
Nah.
Sting... I hate
We're
talking trash so
We're
much.
so critical.
I hate talking. I picture like one of the dudes being just like, yeah, having a purity ring, and just like, or
Yep.
something like that, and being like, not saying having a purity ring is bad, just the vibe, like I don't know. I just feel like there's just such a big part of Christianity that's just
fake.
that's
just
straight
fake.
up lie to you.
Yeah.
And not saying, I know there'll probably be a lot of people that's like, yeah, Christianity as a whole is a lie, like kind of thing. Like there
Dude,
is no God, but just
I can tell you that if we upload this video and we get any views whatsoever, dude, I am sure the comments are gonna be filled with hate.
oh yeah.
If any Christians watch this, it's gonna
Oh,
be
dude,
filled with
there's
hate
like
for sure.
you devil worship, like, or I don't know, or maybe super positive. Who knows? But internet's a really negative place. So
Yeah.
if oh, dude. The Proverbs 9 did
I got the Bible in here somewhere.
Yeah.
You wanna look it up?
yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually in Proverbs right now. So
Nice. Proverbs. I was trying to. Is this the New Living Translation? It should
no,
be.
I think this is English Standard or something.
Gosh dang it. 9. Okay, wisdom has built a house. Let's think it was 16. Oh my gosh. Translations are so different. I can't even understand this. Whoever is simple, let him turn here. We should probably pause this so we're not like just burning time.
Go.
There was another one I have in that message too, but there are 6 things that the Lord hates, 7 that are an abomination to him. My translation: there are 6 things that the Lord hates, no 7 things that he detests. So it's almost like he changed his mind, like as he was writing, he was like, no. He's like, he changed his wording. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. Mine says that kill innocent people. A heart that devises wicked plans. It's pretty self-explanatory. Feet that make haste to run to evil. So people that are excited to do bad stuff. A false witness who breathes out lies, a liar, and one who sows discord among brothers. My translation says family.
So this is. Sorry, my eyes are not
No, you're
that
good.
great anymore.
Let me-
Super interesting on here, which I'm sure this is included in it too. But
one sec.
haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that make haste to run to evil, a false witness who breathes out lies, and one who sows discord among brothers. I'm surprised it doesn't say anything about sex in there, like an adulteress or a fornicator or something weird like that, because usually that's something.
Well,
that,
this says there are 6 things that the Lord hates, and 7 that is an abomination. So, yeah, I don't know. Hold on.
super interesting.
I'm gonna pause real quick.
9 verse 7.
9 verse 7. So this is the original one I was talking about. Whoever corrects a scoffer gets himself abuse, and he who reproves a wicked man incurs injury. Do not reprove a scoffer, or he will hate you. Reprove a wise man, and he will love you. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be still wiser. Teach a righteous man, and he will fear the Lord. Fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So it was just, where was I going with this? Now I can't remember. But
So, you reading that just reminded me of some of the stuff Jordan Peterson talks about in his 12 Rules for Life book. He talks about not helping people that don't want to be helped, which kind of reminds me of what that says right
Like
there.
don't, whoever corrects a scoffer. Yeah, so that, yeah, he's basically just saying it's like the people that are like. So what I was saying, what I was saying in that text message was that, like, what I first thought of was that dude who was at the Slipknot concert, who was like, Satan worshippers and stuff like that.
That's right.
So
yeah.
if he really believed what he was doing, or if he really believed that we were the issue, and everybody going to that Slipknot concert was genuinely the issue, and we were evil people, the Bible says right here not to do anything about it.
Got him.
Just leave them alone, because we're not going to listen anyway, kind of
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
So it's just like, don't waste your time. And then it says, waste your time with people that are already wise. Waste your time with, like, correct, wise people, because then they'll appreciate it. They'll love you for it. They'll be
Yeah.
like, wow. Like, and then it says, what does it say? Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be still wiser. He'll be.
When we were at that show, when we were walking in, and that guy was saying, "You're all gonna burn. You're all going to hell," and then he made fun of my mask, and I took that.
He was like,
super,
wear a mask.
Wear
He's
a
like,
mask.
wear a
And
mask.
It's like, I made this mask. I am offended.
Yeah.
I liked my mask. I think
Yeah.
it was awesome, but I resented that, dude.
Mhm.
Just like, dude, like, I agree with you and I dislike you.
Yeah. You know,
Right.
I think I believe the same thing as you do, and
Yeah.
you suck.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly. And I feel like those guys could have. I feel like if you're trying to reach people somewhere like a Slipknot concert, it's like, dude, there's so much you could do somewhere like that to show people
Yeah.
a little bit more love. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
If they were just there, just like, if they were there just there saying like, hey, like, if anybody wants to come over here and talk to us, if anybody's interested in finding like religion or forgiveness or the love of Christ or whatever like that, I feel like that would have
Yeah, or if
maybe reached somebody.
if anybody here tonight needs prayer or something
Yeah.
like that, like, feel free. We're here. We're talking, instead of like insulting every person that walks
Yeah.
through the door, walks into that concert,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So that, I totally forget where I was going with this. Okay, I'll just keep going when I first read that. When I first read it, I was like, with my translation, I was just like, so all those churches and stuff and all those places, people that go and minister, or like, I wouldn't say minister, try and go and give a bunch of garbage to like super gay areas of San Francisco, or like places, or anything, honestly, like clubs or concerts or gay bars. Like, it just says, like, don't waste your time.
Mhm.
And so all those people that are like protesting, like Christians and stuff that are protesting, like, turn or burn, or like, you're going to hell for listening to music that raises their voices, like, or something like
Yeah.
that. It's just like, you're just wasting your time. Don't waste your time. And I don't know.
Yeah.
So those yeah, so I guess that I don't know. To me, that verse just seems like anybody that does that, like, in a hateful kind of way, like, their entire foundation is based completely off of world decisions. Like,
Yeah.
but they're buttering it up to, like, using this as like a nice stinking, I don't know what you would call it. Like,
Justification or something.
it's like a McDonald's burger that says 100% beef, and then you find out it's, you know,
It's like 20% of it's 100% beef.
yeah. So it's just like, they make it look nice and stuff like that, and then and get people to follow them, or that Faith Love Ministry guy.
Ooh, that dude is wacko.
Yeah, they
That dude is
butters
out
it up.
there.
Probably genuinely believes what he's doing is right, but then also, I don't know. I don't think you bring people
Yeah.
to God by smoking weed with them. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be like
No idea.
taking
That's
alcoholics
beyond me.
taking alcoholics to a bar and going to a bar and drinking for Jesus and getting, smashed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I wish we would have talked to those guys at the Slipknot concert. I would have been totally interested to just go talk to them and see like what they
Their
were talking
perspective.
about.
Yeah, I guess it would. I think it goes both ways. I think talking to them with the intent of changing their mind
No.
would be pointless. But talking to them, like, hey, I'm just really curious to hear your perspective. Like, I just want to know. Like, no, I'm not gonna make fun of you, or I'm not doing any of that. I'm just curious. Like, why do you think God has such a problem with these people, or something like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting. I mean, honestly, I bet if we go to another concert like that down there, they'll probably be there.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
If we ever go again, we should talk to them.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't think that if I'm listening to like Clint Black or like some old country artist that I like listening to, it's like I don't necessarily think that like listening to an old country artist talking about driving his truck out in the field and drinking a bottle of wine with some chick, I don't think that that's any better than Slipknot singing about like get this or die, get this or die, get
Yeah.
this or, you know what I mean? It's like I don't necessarily think that get this or die is like any worse than talking about taking a truck out in the field and drinking a bottle of wine or something, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
What's funny is that song "Get This or Die." He was just saying like they were getting popular. They didn't want to. He was tired of like, of course, he was tired of people like, hey, we should play a show together. We should play a show together. And he was just
Yeah.
like, get this or die. He's like, and he's
Yeah.
saying, you guys suck. He's
Yeah.
being super. So I guess
Yeah.
he's been egomaniac since even the
Oh,
beginning
oh, yeah.
days. He's a good looking dude though, so I guess why? I mean, why wouldn't you be? In that scene, he's got like
In that
tattoo,
scene.
like he's
Yeah.
probably got like all kinds
Oh,
of
yeah.
like hot tattooed chicks that are
But
super into him.
I don't like even like their Heretic anthem and stuff. It's like you listen to it and I really don't
if you're
get
555,
like
then I'm 666. Like, yeah.
it's like I don't get like a satanic vibe from them.
Mm-hmm.
I get a we're gonna shock people vibe in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Like we're
Oh,
in the
yeah.
90s and we're gonna make parents angry.
Yep. No, I
Kinda stuff.
totally agree. Like
Same
Infant Annihilator
stuff
is.
that was same stuff that was being said about like Chuck Berry back in the 50s,
ACDC
you know what I mean?
and
Oh,
Highway to
yeah.
Hell and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They say hell. They say they're going on a highway to hell. That means they're trying to run to the evil and.
Well, ACDC totally was, but
Yeah, well, still though, they're like you listen to them now, and I bet Pastor Chris will probably be
probably.
like, good rock and roll back in the day.
good old rock and roll.
Yeah,
You know?
or like even Led Zeppelin, like just
Yeah.
thinking Stairway to Heaven, like, or any of their songs and stuff like that. Nowadays, it's just like it lost its shock.
yeah.
It's not
Oh,
shocking.
yeah.
It's just like, yeah, that was them. That's the rock and roll lifestyle. It's probably not the best music, but man, it's nostalgic.
Oh, yeah.
Just reminds me of the
Yep.
90s or reminds me of the 80s or 60s, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm done
Whew.
talking.
Yeah, same.
My
I'm
penis
getting
is
tired.
big.